Hi everyone, this is Emily Leapart here for Tailored Expressions, and in today's video I'm sharing a holiday card using the Gathered Stars die, which was an order exclusive during the month of May. That was the one month I didn't place an order, so I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to create with this beautiful die now. The Gathered Stars die is sized to take center stage on a card, and there's so much you can do with it. I haven't seen it used for a holiday card, so I wanted to do that here. The first thing I did was run the die through my die cutting machine twice with gold glitter cardstock. Once all the star inserts are separated from the outline die, this is what you get. I removed the tiniest stars from this group because they're so small that they look almost like circles, especially with the glitter cardstock where the edges are blurred by the sparkle. You can use both the positive and the negative stars, and you can even use the individual stars as confetti or to create a unique background for your card. I love all the options, especially with the different sizes of stars. I'm also going to be using On the Block Mary, which I'll be stamping 3 times, once each with watermelon, cherry pop, and mulled wine inks. I love all these shades of red, and putting them all together on one card will make it ultra festive. Plus, the reds will really pop against the gold stars. The ink cubes require me to stamp each word twice, but using the Misty stamping tool makes it easy. After the stamping is done, I use the coordinating On the Block Mary shadow die to cut out the stamped words. Then I trim a 4" by 5 1/4" panel of sugar cube cardstock, lay out the die cut stars, and determine the position of the sentiments. I decided to place the 2 star panels on an angle and then center the brightest of the Mary die cuts, stamped in watermelon, and offset the other 2. I'll also be using a secondary sentiment from the Simple Strips Christmas stamp set. At this point, I'm not sure which sentiment I'll add to the card since there are quite a few that would work nicely with my design. I'm stamping these simple strips on Oreo cardstock using VersaMark Watermark ink. I use a powder tool so the ink doesn't stick elsewhere. It's very humid here, so I had to do this 3 times before I got the whole panel to stamp nicely without getting embossing powder all over, even with the powder tool. I always love watching the gold embossing powder set under the heat gun. It's just so pretty and really pops on the Oreo cardstock. I die cut the sentiments with the coordinating Simple Strips Asymmetrical die and try out a few on the card. Eventually, I decide on the one that reads, "'Tis the season to be jolly," simply because there are so many merry words and also because I thought the length of this one looked the best. The fine nozzle of the Barely Arts liquid glue was perfect for the gathered stars. I didn't have to be too precise about getting every section of this die adhered because I wanted the edges to pop up a bit for extra dimension and visual interest. Since the die cut is all one piece, I didn't have any worries about it coming apart, especially with glitter cardstock, which is quite flexible and forgiving. After both die cut pieces were adhered, I waited about a minute for the glue to dry, and then I trimmed off the overhanging pieces. Now it's time to attach the words and sentiments. I popped up the center Mary and secondary sentiment with foam sticky strips and attached them to the card panel. Then I used 1/4" score tape to attach the other 2 die cut words to the panel. Once that was done, I trimmed off the overhanging pieces and attached the panel to an Oreo card base. Now my card is done. I just love how sparkly the gathered stars look in gold glitter cardstock, and those 3 merry words really pop. The addition of the Simple Strips Christmas sentiment in gold on black coordinates with both the stars and the card base. I hope you enjoyed this video and you're inspired to create with the Gathered Stars die. You can find all of these products in the Tailored Expressions web store at tailoredexpressions.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.